All right, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of New Lunar Radio. I'm your host, Jay Brony,
And I'm here, Daylight Darkle.
and we are here to talk to you about horses.
Not the horses.
The horses.
Not the horses.
Yeah, it's horse time again. Small, colorful, talking, magical, flying, horse time. It's time for horses.
Mm-hmm.
So, as with every week, there was a new episode this week. So far, every week. Whatever. You know, there's going to be a break eventually, and then we'll get caught up. And then we won't have anything to talk about, but we'll find stuff to talk about because that's what we do. So, yeah, just we'll dive right into Three's a Crowd. What could ever it mean?
What?
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 So we open on the library. Twilight's getting some mail, and she's very excited because she's looking for mail from Cadence, her sister-in-law. Also,
Best pony.
also supposedly best pony, and also ex-foal sitter. I almost said baby, but she was a foal sitter. And the letter says that Cadence can come and visit Twilight for the weekend. Then Fluttershy shows up, unannounced, and is excited as well because she's gotten permission, and I wrote this down especially, from the Equestrian Society for the Preservation of Rare Creatures to view the most teeniest, tiniest magical creatures in the land, the Breezies. Now, I'm not super familiar with the older generations of My Little Pony, but from what I understand, this is a callback to previous generations as they were small, fairy-like pony things in previous seasons. Generations, I should say. So, callbacks to way backs.
Not callbacks.
And then Pinky shows up and is excited because of a flyer for used patio furniture.
Very used furniture at that.
Yeah, it was, the picture depicted it as pretty much broken. So, the thing about Pinky this episode is whoever wrote this episode, I don't think likes Pinky very much because, or just doesn't know how to write her because she was just kind of dumb. This episode.
But that's how Pinky is.
Yeah, but then she isn't, and then she is. It's weird. It's definitely a different way to write her, but that's just I guess that's a personal opinion on it. But we'll get to more of that here in a second. The train, then the opening happens, and then they switch to the train platform, and the train shows up to take Fluttershy away for the weekend. Rarity gives her like a scarf, and Applejack gives her, surprise, surprise, apples to keep her tided over. And then the train departs in a particular direction, which will become important later. Pinky chases after the train, and then is distracted by a balloon for no particular reason, which leads her back to the platform. The rest of the ponies talk about how every time Cadence and Twilight have gotten together, the fate of Equestria has always been riding on their shoulders. And the Twilight's looking forward to hanging out with Cadence without having to save Equestria. So, and wants a nice relaxed weekend. And it just so happens that the Star Swirl the Bearded Traveling Museum is in town. She's so excited.
She just can't hide it.
She's so excited. And in the explanation of how excited she is, Rainbow Dash almost vomits at the nerdiness. Like, literally makes vomiting noises off screen. Yet, you know, she reads books. But, you know, whatever. Still deathly allergic to the nerdiness. And then all of a sudden, from the same direction that Fluttershy's train departed, we get the Crystal Death Train.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Crystal Death Train, which, you know, totally just destroyed Fluttershy's train and
Totally.
Yeah, just, whatever. Shows up to deliver Cadence. And a surprise guest sentry that is Flash. Flash
It doesn't
Sentry.
exist, and it's just a hallucination.
It's just Twilight hallucinating about Flash Sentry.
Mm-hmm.
Since this episode is from slightly her point of view sometimes.
Right.
Well, Cadence shows up and they do the whole, oh, you don't have to be so formal with me. We're sisters-in-law, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And, they're all like, oh, we're sisters-in-law and we're going to go have plans. And Twilight's like, hey, you four left of you, my friends, that are totally going to be in the rest of this episode.
Totally.
You totally need to make sure that we can do stuff without being distracted. And then they leave. And then all of a sudden, something comes spinning down from the sky and lands in a tree. And it turns out it's Discord. And he's sick with the blue flu. Rainbow Dash is still apprehensive, as is ever, about his appearance. He reminds them again that he's been reformed by Fluttershy way back in season 3. And the nice little callback, he says he needs a fainting couch, and everybody looks at Rarity, and she is very confused at what they're all talking about. I found that quite chuckling. Turns out Discord wants the ponies to look after him, but they aren't convinced. We especially get a nice face from AJ. She gets the little eyebrow action going. And Discord showed up looking for Fluttershy, but he forgot she was gone. And it turns out that they're pen pals because, she wrote him about going to see the Breezies. So he gathers them all together and he's like, you're going to take care of me, right, friends? And then Rainbow Dash, the element of loyalty, runs off, never to be seen again.
Mm-hmm. Loyalty.
Loyalty. Pinky happily agrees to take care of Discord, but Discord wants AJ and Rarity to take care of him instead. And then distracts her with a balloon, and she roams off, never to be seen again. Technically both Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie show up at the very end, but effectively they're not in the rest of the episode. Loyalty. AJ and Rarity agree to keep Discord away from Twilight and Cadence. They're like, we're going to do this. We promised that we would. And they're going to. And then all of a sudden, they fall ill with the blue flu as well. And they sneeze and disappear off screen. Not to be seen again until the very end of the episode. So, systematically, we have gotten rid of everybody but Twilight and Cadence. Also somehow Spike too, because he doesn't show up for the rest of the episode either. But he's not seen being disappeared from on screen. So Discord is shown very schemily saying, oh, I'll have to go and find Twilight and Cadence. He shows up and interrupts them at the Traveling Museum. And he explains to them how he's sick and he needs them to take care of him because he can't possibly go on without their help. And we find out that Cadence has magical health bubble powers that protects her and Twilight from getting ill, I guess. And Discord eventually convinces Twilight to let him stay at the library, much to her dismay, and also via blackmail. So, emotional blackmail, but blackmail nonetheless. You're not really my friend if you don't let me stay with you.
What?
And once at the library, we get a Discord song.
Wasn't that good, really?
I liked the visuals more than the actual music. I liked what went with the song instead of the song itself, let's just say. I wrote down here a couple of the things that show up in the song. It's well written. I just think that maybe Delancey is, maybe he doesn't necessarily give it the flair that I think it could have had. But I think, it was... I could agree that it was on the lower end of mediocre, but I definitely liked what they did with the visual part of it. So it kind of brings the song up for me a little bit. There's a waltz with Twilight, a Harry Potter reference. This is also the part of the show that turns into reference after reference after reference. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like references and ponies, which, why are you even watching the show? Then you're not going to like the rest of this episode at all. So
makes sense.
And there's a Harry Potter reference. He turns Twilight's horn into some flowers. He swaps Twilight's and Cadence's hair. There's a dig on the TSA. And finally, a nice little Flashdance reference. So after the song, Twilight just wants to cure him. He just wants to get her out of her home and out of her life, so she can get back to hanging out with Cadence. So she asks, "What can I do?" She's like, "There's got to be something in my books." And it turns out that Discord knows how to be cured. And it's because there's a magical flower at the edge of Equestria that you need to pick as the flower drops its petals at sunset. So, impossible task? Not really, since they are princesses and they can just fly and, all that fun stuff. But, all in all, why didn't he just go get it himself? And Cadence brings that up, and he's like, "Oh, I couldn't make it. I would just be too tired by the time I got there." So they pull out, the showrunners pull out a little bit of a Fear and Loathing reference as he's trying to explain how they get there, and then he ends up saying, "It's just easier if I go with you." And it turns out that they have to pull him on a chariot that looks like the one from 300. So, yeah, they end up making it there, and they find the hill that the flower is on, and Cadence and Twilight go to retrieve it, and it turns out that the flower is huge. It's like gigantic. They get there just at sunset, and the petals are starting to fall, so they pull it out of the ground with their magic and release a giant Tatuzul worm. I think that's it. Tatuzul worm. TATZLWURM. So, yeah, that's how you say it. That's what, what's her face? I can't even remember her name now. Showrunner, editor, whatever. Megan McCarthy. That's it. That's what Megan McCarthy called it on her Twitter. Aha. So they have an epic fight scene, complete with lasers and Doctor Who sound effects underneath the laser sound effects. So, yeah. And then they do a whole cool little flying laser fight scene with the worm. And then there's a Wilhelm scream as they banish it back into the hole that it came from. As they carry the flower back to where Discord was, it turns out the Discord wasn't sick at all.
What? No.
Never. And it turns out, and then he pulls a Risky Business reference out of his hat and slides onto screen with some socks and sunglasses and shirt and stuff. And turns out that Discord just wanted to make sure that he was still true friends with Twilight now that she's a princess, proving that she would go to the end of Equestria for him. Quite literally. Also, it seems like he kind of wanted to put a kink in her and Cadence's time together. Being the slightly malicious Discord that we know from the beginning of the season. But it turns out that she enjoyed it because the Crystal Empire was getting routine, and she enjoyed the bit of excitement that she got from defeating a worm. So, speaking of the worm, it comes back. Discord is confused by its presence. And it sneezes on him and gets him sick. Cadence and Twilight being protected by the health bubble that Cadence made way before in the episode. Then we switch back to Fluttershy's cottage, and Spike is writing in a journal entry, narrated by Twilight, in that she learned that even though you may not have even the most hectic days with your friends are still a day with your friends, and Spike is writing with a quill from Twilight's wing. So I found that kind of interesting. No more quill shortages, therefore no more need for the quills in Silphish store.
Hooray.
Hooray. And Fluttershy is back to take care of them, and we get bit appearances by Rarity and Applejack and Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie, and Rainbow Dash is there too. But Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash don't say anything, so, whatever. They're there. And then the episode's over. I don't understand. I guess one thing I wanted to say is if Discord wasn't really sick, how did he get Rarity and AJ sick? Is the blue flu a real thing? Did he plant
It's not a real thing. It's just his chaos stuff.
It was just his chaos magic making them sick? Because, if they had just turned blue, that'd be one thing, but they, sneezed and stuff, so they were, quote-unquote, really sick, so... Okay.
Chaos sick.
I will believe that it is just his chaos magic. So, Mr. Cadence fan, what did you think of...
Not enough cadence.
The Cadence episode? Not enough cadence.
Not enough cadence.
You needed more cadence.
Yes.
The laser fight scene wasn't enough?
You
needed more fight scenes with cadence.
Just more cadence altogether.
So you wanted front to back cadence and you didn't get it.
Yep.
And you're disappointed?
Mm-hmm.
But you're satisfied that there was at least some cadence in this season.
But I just wanted more.
More cadence.
Yes.
Because obviously this was a Discord and Twilight episode, and cadence was just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
This definitely wasn't a cadence episode.
Exactly.
You want a cadence episode.
Yes.
All right. I think we've gotten to the bottom of that. Well, maybe later. Maybe there'll be more cadence later.
Maybe.
But I can tell you when there's not going to be more cadence.
What?
In the next two episodes we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Which includes the next episode, the one that everybody's been waiting for, and another episode in the future. And the next episode is Pinky's Pride. It's the one with Weird Al.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a new synopsis for Pinky's Pride. An elated Pinkie Pie is planning the biggest and best birth-anniversary party ever for Rainbow Dash, but when another party planner pony named Cheese Sandwich, that's Weird Al.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rides into town, plans change. Soon every pony is excited about Cheese Sandwich's party, and they forget about Pinkie Pie, but her pride won't let her go down without an official goof-off. Meh. There was also some extra clips released, but most of it is standard fare.
I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah. Save it for the episode. Fair enough. Looking forward to that one. That one's going to be pretty fun. Especially since...
Are you looking forward to it because of Weird Al?
Totally looking forward to it because of Weird Al.
Oh, okay.
We also got another little bit of synopsises for...
Synopsis?
Yeah. For the episode Simple Ways. Looks like it might be a Rarity / Applejack episode.
You mean Charity and Applesack?
Yeah, those two. Hoping to garner the attention of handsome travel writer Tenderhoof, Rarity decides to present him with her ideas for the Ponyville Days Festival, but her plans are dashed when Tenderhoof makes his infatuation with Applejack known. Infatuation, not influation. Sorry, infatuation.
Inflatulence?
Yes. Were you laughing at the dashed? Her plans are dashed. Ha ha ha. Yep, infatuation with Applejack. So, they're fighting over a man now. So, excellent, I guess. If you're into that kind of thing, I guess. And then we move on to some maybe slightly disappointing news, but maybe not. So there's been some news swirling around on Amazon and whatnot about a potential Equestria Girls 2.
Crap.
And the potential subtitle for this movie is Rainbow Rocks.
Does that explain all the nightmare-fueled drugs that have been going around?
Yeah, with the exception of I'm just gonna lay this down here now, but there's gonna be some sort of rainbow powers at the end of this season. It's gonna happen. The toys are already starting to surface. We've seen the rainbow shimmers in the episodes. It's gonna happen. So, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't know either. It's just a element of harmony replacements, of course, but
Are you sure?
I'm
There's a rainbow cadence.
There is a rainbow cadence. But, yeah, and we're not sure right now. There's a book, there's some toys, specifically a magic horse toy. Are you looking at the rainbow cadence?
Yes!
Why are you rainbow cadence?
Why is there just a bunch of hearts with different colors?
I think we've lost him, folks. I think he's gone. I've lost him. Don't worry, man. It'll be all right.
Holes in them. That doesn't even make sense.
It'll be okay, man. It's just a toy. It's just a toy, man.
Maybe it's a movie too.
Maybe, but we won't know until it happens, man. One thing that we do know that is happening: collectible card game expansions.
Oh, okay.
Expansion number 1.
Are there going to be rainbow cards?
No, it seems like this
and
one.
Rainbow problems and rainbow stuff?
Fiends and stuff. No. It looks like they're gonna be the Canterlot Knights, and according to Enterplay, the Celestia and Luna will be the new major character cards. New friends, a couple new mechanics, and new versions of the current main characters. So hopefully you didn't spend any money on the old cards because new ones are already coming out.
Oh, okay. I also know that there's a online version that somebody made.
Yeah, unofficial online version.
I haven't gotten a chance to play it though.
Me neither. I haven't gotten a chance to play it either. So
Do it this weekend?
What's that?
Want to do it this weekend?
Yeah, we can try to set it up this weekend. See if we can play a game.
Alright.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon?
Sure.
Okay. We could stream it.
We could.
We could. I'd win.
Okay. And then we have one little last piece of news here, just as I feel my voice starting to give out.
Is it con news?
Oh, yes.
Is it BabsCon?
Oh, yes.
Oh, baby.
BabsCon.
Ah.
You got so excited it made you cough your lungs out.
I actually scared somebody doing an announcement at work. Yeah, yesterday actually.
Nice.
I was doing my announcements and the cashiers, they've been doing announcements like as part of skits like, hey, guess what? What? Such and such deal. No way! And then she hung up the phone, looked at me and said, you overdid it. Don't do that. I was like, okay.
Well, speaking of overdoing it, see, now you got me doing it too. Speaking coughing, man, you got me coughing now. You Oh God. Oh, when I have to edit the audio on this one.
You have to edit audio.
Oh God.
Get down with the sickness. My neighbors are probably pissed at me.
Well, let's just finish this off. BabsCon is getting
BabsCon!
Natasha Levinger.
Or better yet, Babs Con!
Oh, yes.
Jokes that never get old.
Never get old. She's she wrote stuff for Pinky Apple Pie and the song Apple to the Core.
Meh.
So, if you want to go see her, and there's also an upcoming song, It Ain't Easy Being Breezies, that she wrote. So we're going to see more of them breezies that we talked about before. But she'll be at Babscom April 18th through the 20th, 2014. Burlingame, California. Babscom.com. Babscon.com. So, you know where to go. We've talked about it enough. You should know by now.
Maybe you go to babscon.com.
Yeah. Totally. Totally go to babscon.com.
What about babscom.com?
That won't get you very far, but sure, try it out.
Okay, I'm trying it. Babscom.com. My scan is completed successfully. No joke, I was running an anti-malware scan. It took me to Google.
Nice. Way to go, Google. You're taking over the world.
I have 69 infected files. Oh well.
Damn you, virus.
Right?
Damn you, virus scan. Damn you.
There's malware, so it does more than that.
Yeah, malware scans. Crazy malware scans.
Values, keys, files.
Yeah, all that stuff. Anyways, I think that brings us to the end. Now we're talking about malware and not ponies anymore. So, finish it off with a little bit of randomness. Just like Pinkie Pie. Hey, look, a balloon!
Not a balloon! No way!
All right, everybody. Have a week.
See you around.